How's everyone going? Welcome back to another Carriages MTMR Model Railways unboxing video. This video is kind of a part 2 to our previous video, where we took a look at Tomix's C58 239, the SL Ginga version. Today we're going to take a look at the carriages that it's supposed to run with. So I should apologise that you will hear me sniffling a little bit during this video. I am not 100% well at the moment. It's going through summer, a lot of hay fever around at the moment. But yeah, so we've got the locomotive sitting at the top. I've chose to leave it up there for the purposes of this video. But so these are the carriages for the SL Ginga. They're actually technically diesel rail cars. They are the series 141s. KiHa, I think that's how to pronounce it. Or 141s. So they are self-propelled. For that reason, we are actually going to look at them separately to the engine. But stay tuned at the very end. We will run them along with it. Mind you, if you did watch the other part of the simulator, you also see that we did have a shot or two in the conclusion with the carriages. So, but we will also run it on its own because it has its own motor. So let's get it. Just take a quick look around the box. It is in a plastic wrap at the moment, so it's pack number 98522. Same sort of styling as kind of stuff, but with the thing on the other side, and actually a little bit different to our previous Tomix model, which is the Hello Kitty 500 series. A little side thing, as per usual, allows you to see things on the side. I can't actually see the camera, so I do apologise if I've missed the frame. And just the warning labels and stuff. So this is more of their, I think this is more of their regular packaging comparatively, unlike the special one that was given in the 500. So we finally get to see some of their more regular stuff, which is a bit odd because knowing that this is kind of a special train as well. And it's not like I don't think you can acquire both of them in one pack. So let's get to opening it. I don't want to trying to not damage the plastic too much. Just trying to cut the tape as much as I can. I don't like damaging the packages if possible. There's sometimes you just can't get away from it though. Welcome back. It's been like a second for you guys, but yeah, no, there's just a lot of tape. Fair enough. It means that this is completely unscratched, unlike the Cardo ones. That's brilliant. And there's still a scratch there. Huh. That might have been me, actually. Yeah, that would have been me. That's my knife. Whoops. Yeah, because I had to get through the tape, but whoopsie. Anyways, let's pull the sleeve off. So that's that's been a standard Tomix sleeve. And once again, we got the standard regular box. Nothing different to what's outside. Pretty much everything was already specified. Can't read any of that. If anyone can translate that for me, that would be fantastic. You probably get a close-up of that on screen. Yeah, just regular stuff. Telephone number for if you live in Japan. If you buy and live in Japan. Let's get it open. Once again, here's your instruction manuals. I need to take a quick look to make sure that there's nothing in here that I can't show on the screen, because there's this little warning docket that we get it. What's it called? That yeah, I assume it's just a warning docket, some form. No need to put that on screen. However, I will put a bigger version of this on screen. This is your instruction manuals for the JR KiHa 141s. So talks about formation. There's a motor in the front unit, number 701. Nope. So 143701. Other things talk about directions and radius. Make sure you have the assumingly yeah, train will go at the same. Both the engine will go at the same direction as the locomotive. Apparently the motors have been set up so that they should work pretty well together. I don't understand any of that. Kind of this talks about the springs. No, you can put a nicer end detail to the ends if you want to. So rather than having a couple of them, I assume. Yeah, yeah, and extra detail parts, lights on and off, and sort of things. I would assume. So pretty standard, stock standard sort of stuff. And cleaning the wheels. Interestingly enough, they say when cleaning the wheels to Oh, they've got a bit of tilt on the bodies, that's kind of nice. Interesting to see that saying cleaning the wheels is to remove the whole body rather than just cleaning the wheels. So there we go. Those are instruction manuals. I'm going to say it would have been a close-up on screen. We've got this little thing on the top. This allows you to put the locomotive in this box, so instead of having it stored in the other one, you can put the engine in here as well, which is nice. If you would like to do that, you can. Shows the route of the SL Ginga train. And here's your accessories, which are a small screwdriver thing, a spare coupling. They look like spare couplings of some form. And then your little details and stuff that's as per specified in the instruction manuals. Will I fit them? Probably not, honestly. Unless it's unless it's really going to have the look of the model. I don't usually fit the details. I do prefer keeping them as original as possible. Also because it's a bit fiddly. So here's your 4 carriages. I have heard word there's a minor problem in the colour schemes or something. If anyone knows about that, you can tell me. I am going to go and have a look at a few photos myself before we go and do the close-up, of course. And we can go through that. Let's get the motor unit out, which is this one on the top. This is the carriage number 1, and in the darkest livery. Nice and heavy as well. It's heavy enough. This is all-wheel driven, which is also nice, and nicely has no traction tyres. Absolutely fantastic. Made in Japan, so doesn't look too bad at all. Of course, as I say, we'll go to the close-ups next, so no need to show them on screen. Frame shell looks like it's pretty easy to open up there. Next up, we have the 144 carriage. It's got couples on both ends. It still looks pretty nice because that's a mold line. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Going dimmer. As you can see, the train progressively gets lighter as you go through the train. You got something a bit dimmer, a bit lighter now. This is the 144 carriage. So very nice artwork, I admit. Apparently the artwork is done by someone, I can't remember. And trying to get the last unit out. Oh, that's a thing. The front unit doesn't actually have a regular coupler, so that's interesting. And then we've got our last carriage. So our brightest one. This is just a trailing unit, no motors, but should have headlights and tail lights. It's got one of these little couplers on the front. They actually look pretty nice. I wonder if they work. But they do work. So these couplers do work. That's very nice. Obviously, it's not going to work very well with the back of the locomotive, which is fitted with a regular coupler. So we'll have to change out one of the ends. I think it's probably supposed to be the motor end, which is kind of unfortunate because they look really nice, actually. These couplers look really nice, but we'll get down the close-up. So there we go. Sorry about that. If that felt like it took too long, I do really apologise, but there we go. Let's go close up and have a look. Alright, we have all 4 carriages of the 141 now set up, and, well, not set up, now on the desk so that we can do our close-ups. Firstly, before we get into that, here's a bit of history on the 141 class, because of course they weren't originally to run by a steam locomotive, so let's go into that. The KiHa 141 series are a fleet of 44 DMU carriages that entered service with JR Hokkaido in 1990. The carriages were originally built as the 50 series for the JNR that formed a fleet of over 1,000 units as a stopgap measure to the introduction of newer EMU and DMU trains entering service in 1977. The KiHa 141 operated on the Saho line until 2023 as a booster for electrified services. 4 carriages were sold to JR East and repainted for use on SL Ginga on the Kamehashi line. SL Ginga was suspended in 2023 due to the aging components on the KiHa 141s after 9 years of operation. Welcome back. I have a feeling I've been calling it a 414. It's 141. Oops, oh well. Anyways, so This is going to be a little bit different because of the realization that every single carriage is slightly different this time. Not 100% sure how we're going to do the close-ups of this one. We may end up doing, we may do a overlook through like all of them now, and then if there's any key details, I'll kind of flick them on screen to make them a bit better, easier to see. So we'll do all 4 of them. Let's first start off with a main spin everything, then we'll zoom nice and closely and look at individual components. Alright, let's get started. So this is the motor unit, so I don't know exactly, I don't think, I've seen videos of the Z58 on both ends, so I don't think it really matters whether or not this is the front or the rear, but anyways, so we'll quickly start off with this. It's got a, as we saw in the opening section, it's got a pretty nice coupler on the front already. The coupler does actually work as well. Honestly, wouldn't mind to continue to use it, but we need to see if there's a coupler that's available for the back of the tender of the C58, or else obviously that's not going to be possible. We'll have to fit the C58 with what's it called? We'll have to fit one of these out with the regular couplers. Lights should work. This is its own unit, of course, so lights should work, and all of that. So definitely doesn't look too bad from the front at all. Doesn't have destinations, it seems, because fair enough, it's a kind of a special service. We've got our carriage, the gangways of the regular carriages. They're, once again, no windows on them except for the very last carriage. So very, very nice artwork. It's some symbolism, if I recall. I can't 100% remember what that was either. But yeah, you can see in this sort of angle, you can see the different tones of each colour. It does slowly get brighter as we get closer to the camera at the moment. As I've heard, there's been some questions about the correctness of the colours on some of the units. Can't confirm it or not. Had a look at some videos, and the fact is that the brighter colours, like this one, and on the other half of the second unit where they've got the join colour, it does maybe a little bit too light, but they're not bad at all, honestly. Maybe my bar is just a bit low. You've got pretty decent undercarriage detail. There's a lot of parts underneath there, so that's good to see. These, after all, these do have motors in them in real life, and so on to the end of this carriage. This carriage again doesn't have anything to be anything on what would be a destination or anything. So should have working lights once again. Has that very nice coupler once again as well. I'm just going to push that out so we can see. It's got a decent amount of buffer detail though, so it's like your little hose pipes and stuff, so that's really, really nice. It's also got little wipers. So just going to look over to the other carriages. Once again, you can see the artwork design on the other carriages. They really need to. I really need to find out what they actually meant again, but they look really, really nice. Very crisp in the paint job as well. Admittedly, so Tomix has done a really good job with the application of the decals, at least. I can see how clear the clear the lines and the shapes are. So the details are rather basic, but I've noticed that the real one is also rather basic in things you can add to it as well. So that's probably fair enough then. There's not really that much above on the actual units. Very flat-sided units, just with a very, very nice paint job. So in terms of the detail, it's pretty spot on, honestly. So it's not Tomix's fault for why the detail is bare. It's the unit itself. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully that's given a nice close view of some of the artwork and some of the features of these carriages. We'll jump over to the layout now and give them a run. Of course, we'll have to do our running in, so we'll just use the front unit, so the darkest unit and the closest unit to us at the moment. and then we'll run them all together, and then we'll also put the C58 on the front. Let's head over. Alright, so we've made it to the layout, well, the setup. What's it called? So we've got our train collie just over here. Had to put it back in the box, obviously, just to transfer it, makes it a bit easier. This is our power unit. So we're going to do a running in of the power unit first. Whoops, don't do that. We're going to do a running in of the power unit, so run at approximately 20 minutes. Usually it's half an hour, but I'm going to do it for 20 minutes. I've noticed that half an hour seems to be a bit long, especially for the N-gauge stuff. So, double OHRs you do half an hour, but for N-gauge will be probably 20, 25, we'll see where it hovers. If you have watched our C58 video, you would notice that we decided to, what's it called? At the end of the video, we would cut the video and then wait until the layout gets redone. So this is still the same setup at the start of the C58 video as well. And we're going to do the same sort of thing here. Main difference we're going to do this time though is we're going to do half of the video. What's it called? We're also going to do some of the running in this video as well. So we're going to run all 4 carriages, and then we'll have the last few shots with the C58. But there will be separate shots comparatively to separate shots to what we're seeing in the other video. So be sure to stay tuned for those. It was pretty easy to put on. Only 4 axles. So let's get it moving. We'll get it to rock up and down the screen first. I need to know what the screen can actually see. Apparently nothing of use. Anyways, let's run it. All the headlights are working nicely. And let's knock into reverse. Got some tails? Awesome. So let's get it going. 20 minutes in the forward and then and so forth. Yep. So take it away. Of course, I'm not 100% sure how often it would have ran by itself, but seeing that it is a valve motor specifically and it can run itself, I thought it would be best to do that. Actually, the engine is actually only just parked in the other platform, so let's go get some shots. Only a few. Alright, so that's the running in all completed. So what's it called? We're going to give it a run with the rest of the carriages, just a few shots of those before we switch over to the when I've redone the layout, rejigged around the layout and stuff like that, because I think the new what's it called, the redone version will look a bit nicer. So, but no, what's it called? Because of it's primarily that I need to get some other stuff tested, that I've set it up temporarily like this while I'm doing other stuff. So let's go and load everything on. I've actually been having a read of the instruction manuals, at least as much as I can understand it. Anyways, there's a little. So I didn't notice this, but there is a screwdriver in here. And then you've got the transitioning couplers that clips onto the end, which is kind of cool. But there's a little screw thing in there, which I'm surprised we didn't see that when we were doing the close-ups. There's a little screw hole in there, and that allows you to, supposedly allows you to change up the motor so that it will align a bit better with the steam locomotive. Because the motors aren't, obviously they're not going to be 100% the same. They did try, but they supposedly give you some sort of fine scale control over it, which is kind of cool. So let's go and load on the carriages and have a look at it run a few trips. Sounding a little bit noisy actually. Maybe that's just the PWM on the controller. We'll see what it sounds like on a Tomix controller later. Well, not on the video, but I'll find out what it sounds like on a Tomix controller, since I have to set up a Tomix track between this being converted over. So, but let's get it moving. Not too bad. As I say, we're going to quickly change up the setup, and then we'll attach on the C58 and get a few shots of that before we end off this video. Remembering the conclusion for this video and the wrap up will primarily be talking about the DMU itself rather than the locomotive. We will, however, cover the locomotive in a separate video that should already be online, so be sure to check that out. Alright, so for this part, just quickly taking Ginga off the carriages off the track. We're going to have a quick look at the coupling. So this is the converter couplings that they have fitted as part of of the pack. Yeah. So these are the little couplings I have as part of it. Ouch! They're specifically, especially converter couplers for these units. So if we get, what's it called? I'll probably put a close up on view. But what it is a little. It clips into the end of the what's it called? The couplers that are on the end units. So very simply, they like you're coupling up a regular unit. The things just clip in and then locks in. Make sure you lock it in straight. Don't do it like what I've done here, because that's not straight at all. And then they basically operate like that in terms of being a converter. So exactly the same as if you were to couple up two units together, sort of thing. So it's like this is just like a second unit, but it means that now you have a coupler that allows you to operate it with SL Ginga. So also as part of this, there is a little screw hole in here. Again, we'll try to get a little close up. You will notice on the instruction manuals that it specifies to rotate it by about 90 degrees, and that should slow the motor down to operate it better, or speed it up, depending on what it is, to operate better with your C58. We're going to put the C58 on the rear of the train because the purpose of this train is primarily for the carriages. So we have actually got the trailing unit leading in the front, because I put the coupler on the front on the power unit rather than the trailing unit. But we'll get the mic on the train. Let's give and have a look at the set all connected up. Alright, here we go. There is also a light switch underneath the carriages, so it's both ends, and it does allow you to switch on or off the lights. You should have had a close-up on the screen as I talked about that. So let's get it going. As I say, I've got C56 on 58 on the other end. Sorry if I've been calling it 56. I'm a bit tired, and as well as that, because C56 is recently released by Carter. Very interested about that model, actually. Anyways, we're going to get going towards the Clement. This is one of the rare times that you will see the steam engine facing the wrong direction on this track, because I usually always run them on the front. There is a headlight on the rear locomotive, on the tender side, and that is not, you cannot turn that off, unlike the headlight. So, and unlike the carriages, unfortunately. Okay, so let's bring it back up into the platform. Let's have a quick chat. What can you say? Definitely not too bad, you would admit. Just to note, one weird thing with it is, for some reason in reverse, at least with my model, it seems the tail light flashes quite a bit. Not 100% sure whether or not that's dirty wheels or dirty track, but for some reason the light seems to flicker quite a bit in the tail reversing direction. Or, well, in this case, it's when it's going forwards, because obviously that ends the power unit and you've got the steam engine on the other end. But yeah, not too bad at all, eh? It's definitely a different model. It is another JRE setup. Pretty much continuing to stuff up my own error, because obviously the only thing that's technically fully correct is that thing that's just sitting over there. The which was seen in one of our previous years, the EF66 with the blue train for the Akamaz, shoot, I can't remember, but basically what the Sanyo bullet train is now. But yeah, definitely not too bad of a train, I must admit. It runs nicely. It actually runs a lot better on its own rather than with the steam engine, but never mind. Details decent. I don't see anything wrong specifically. The artwork is nice. It's still a question of whether or not the full accuracy in the colours though. I'm having a lot of chat to my mates about the fact that the colours seem to be slightly off, at least on this end. The dark end seems fine. It's just the lighter end. But we'll let you guys make a discussion about that. I honestly don't mind it. Doesn't look too bad. I haven't seen it in real life, obviously, which doesn't help me. But looking at all the photos, it does look a bit confusing. But yeah, definitely not a bad set at all, I don't think. Anyways, operationally they seem fine. Mechanism-wise, seem fine. It does seem like a pretty decent mechanism. It's a bit interesting the way they set up the mechanism, how having to slow the model down or speed it up for the C58. Obviously, your SL service wouldn't usually run like this. It will always have the steam engine on the front. But just for the sake of this video and the fact that we're obviously talking more about these carriages, we've ran at the rear. Other than that, everything seems pretty fine. They've got a nice amount of detail. Traction tyres on the driving wheels. It's weird for me to say that traction tyres are a good thing, but in terms of most of the Japanese stuff, the traction tyres have allowed the models to actually go upgrade and run a lot better, honestly, rather than having smooth wheels. But yeah, there's honestly nothing else I can really put to it. It's a pretty nice model. Just question its accuracy and those flashing lights. Other than that, I think I can leave you guys off with that. What are your thoughts? Something different, eh? Something a bit more colourful for the layout, hopefully. But yeah, what do you guys think? Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you all very, very soon in another unboxing or another video. I'm not 100% sure what's next yet, so